So for 2022, I said I was going to stop being a coward. I didn't say it in so many words. I think what I said was, I love my whole perfume collection. I have no interest in a declutter, but there are some perfumes in my collection that I have not worn as much, and I'd like to maximize or give a second chance, an underdog. And I picked out a couple to start with, just ones that I'd either scored toward the lower end or said I wanted to wear more in 2022. And I'm going to challenge myself this week and try to wear some of my hardest to wear and least worn perfumes. So if you haven't watched my year-end New Year's Eve special countdown, which I don't blame you, I'd love it if you did watch it, but it was quite long. So if you didn't have time to sit through all of that just to see some highlights, I'm just going to focus in on some of the ones that I said were hard to wear, and I'm going to wear them. I do wear my perfumes for me. I really do, especially these days where it's cold outside and I'm working from home. Most of the time, the only folks that get to smell it are just myself and my family. So it's really for me. But even so, there are ones that I've struggled to wear, even in that small little box there. So I picked 3. And I've got some outside stuff to do this week. My kids have gymnastics tonight. Tomorrow I've got a doctor's appointment with one of my sons, and so I'm going to be out and about a little bit, so I will have to be comfortable with what I'm wearing. And the 3 that I picked. So I picked 3. I'm going to talk to you about what they are, why I enjoy them, and why I found them hard to wear. And then I will update the video after this week's over to say if I'm more comfortable, less comfortable. We'll see. We'll see. So the first one is Zoologist B. Look at that cool bottle. It's a really cool bottle, and it's a really cool scent. If you haven't smelled Zoologist, I picked this up for the first time at Pigwick's Mercantile in my Shop Local video, and I tried quite a few Zoologists that day, and I am still very interested in this house. I will going to go back, and I'm going to try some more, and there was Snowy Owl was the other one that I was very interested in from this house, but I was really obsessed with B. This was the one that I was the most excited to bring home from Pigwick's that day, and I couldn't wait to show it off, and I'm smelling it now. And it's very unique. So first of all, they're all like vegan. So they're named after animals, but there's no actual animal products in any Zoologist. So when you smell this, you get honeycomb, crazy honeycomb. Like you ever see like those cartoons where a character gets their head stuck up in a honeycomb and usually get attacked by bees afterwards? That's what this smells like. You actually stuck your head in a honeycomb. I know it's synthetic because no animal products, but that's exactly what it smells like. And that is the top note too. So when you first spray, you get really surrounded by that honeycomb. And it's not like a sweet, crisp, like I'm just having fun right now. So I've got like my Scandal by Night. This has a honey note in it too. And this is a very sweet syrupy. This is not syrupy. This is very, not tart. It's just a very sharp honeycomb. But that is it's really just the top note. And it's very intense. But it does wear off and it dries down. And when it dries down, you retain a lot of that uniqueness, but you get something else to it. And that's really what I know I like, and I know I can get to it. I just have to sort of get past my fear of bringing that huge honeycomb burst out into the world. I think I just, I've talked before about how I don't live in a very perfume friendly type environment. So I just get nervous sometimes about wearing things that I think are going to overwhelm. So that's where I am with this one. But I do feel like I'm going to really enjoy the dry down and not find it that intense. So that is B, and I am going to wear that this week. Okay, number 2 is my Original Poison. I love this Original Poison. It's sweet, but it is very vintage. It's very vintage, very incensey, and I have worn it around the house a little bit. I just really enjoy the scent, and I feel kind of pretty wearing it. But I do have a fear of wearing it because it is such a well-known, famous fragrance that is well-known from a period, 40 years ago. So I do worry a little bit about seeming out of touch. Or too old school, or people just thinking again that like I haven't caught on to the, not judgments per se, but I just think people are going to smell that and just go like, why is she wearing something from 40 years ago? That's sad. No, I'm going to wear it. I'm going to wear it for sure. It's very strong. It's very good. This is the Eau de Toilette, but it bursts, it lasts like an ATP. And then last I have if you've, again, kept up with my channel, you're not going to be surprised here, but oh my goodness. Here's Lust by Lush. I'm going to wear it. I'm going to wear it. If you haven't seen me talk about this before, I talk about it in the Perfume I Do Not Wear video. It's about how I have not worn this yet and I just smell it myself. It's growing on me. It's a really, really, really strong jasmine. And I have a feeling, again, that I'm going to like the dry down on this because the reason I purchased it in the first place is because I had sprayed it on a strip. I was immediately kind of turned off and scared away, but then I kept smelling that strip like days later and getting bursts of the fragrance and really enjoying it. So that's kind of making me think that maybe the dry down is not so intense, or I could figure out how to wear it. I'm not sure if this is the best season. It's really cold outside. You know, maybe that'll work to its benefit because it'll disperse the scent a little bit versus like a hot day baking in the sun where it would really enhance it and make it even stronger. I don't know. Boy, I don't know. It could be a fit or it couldn't, but I'm going to try. I'm really going to try. I don't have a great occasion to wear this, you know. I think the occasions that I referenced in that video were like a shootout Mr. and Mrs. Smith style, or like a sweaty dance hall, but I'm not doing either of those things this week. But I still feel like I want to make some space and give this one a shot and just see how it goes. Maybe the dry down will be lovely and not this intense, and I will be perfectly comfortable and happy wearing it. Are there stakes, you know, if I decide that these are not fits for me? Probably not. I think I would keep all three of them. You know, I don't like to keep things in my collection that I'm not going to wear, but I just enjoy the scent of them, you know, so much. And I think they're so unique and special that I don't think I'm going to ditch any at the end of this week. But, you know, maybe if something really gets under my skin or something, it's a possibility. But that's all for the introduction and my reasons and why I picked. So I will be updating you at the end of this week with my conclusions. Stare them down, wear weird perfume, stand your ground. That's not how the song goes. It's not about perfume. Anyway, and they're not really fear perfumes. They were just my hard to wear perfumes, right? And here they are, B, Poison, and Lust. As promised, I wore all of them this week, and I have thoughts, new thoughts, from when I've worn them in the past. So here's how that went. So let's start with the order that I wore them in, which is with B. So my concern with B is that it has that really strong synthetic honeycomb opening that can clear a room if you don't like it or you're put off by it. And I was hesitant to wear it because I was concerned that that would really stick around and bug people, because the first time I sprayed it at home, it did send my husband running a little bit, and he had opened a window and whatnot, and I was concerned. I will say after wearing it that honeycomb synthetic note really does die down, and it dies down quickly. I think that's the intention, is you get that burst, and then the dry down is a lot easier to appreciate. It's a little more crowd pleasing. I did get some vanilla. I got some powderiness. The edge of that honeycomb sticks around, so it's not like it's nothing. It is there. It's just not as intense as that initial burst. And pros and cons to that. I mean, it loses a little bit of its uniqueness when that goes away and smells a little bit more just like a vanilla powdery kind of scent. And it just kind of retains a little bit of that syntheticness. So if you really don't like the synthetic note generally, you might want to keep that in mind when sampling B or others from Zoologist, because they do use synthetic scents and nothing, you know, from animals. So it's just something to keep in mind there. It was more wearable than I had feared after that initial spray. Certainly very much more wearable. It doesn't really rank, I would say, in terms of like a top reach or a top favorite, even after getting past that initial burst, but I'm glad I have it. Also, it's an unexpected favorite of my 9-year-old. He was having some fun. Again, kids' opinions on my perfume don't really rank, but I just thought it was funny. He was having some fun with my perfumes, smelling them, and he really got a kick out of this one and wanted to wear it to 4th grade. You know, maybe not perfume to school, but I let him wear it at home if he wanted to just smell himself. Smell like this little synthetic honeycomb, powdery vanilla bee. Okay, Poison. Yeah, Poison the original. And my fear with this one is that it smells very much vintage and very much like Poison. So I just feel like sometimes it's a little much or a little too old-fashioned to necessarily be an easy reach. And I still kind of feel that way. You know, Poison is what it is. It's beautiful. I really like the scent. But I think it's really more of a me thing. Like, I don't know if it's really something that I would wear out to say, like, I was going to work or even a wedding, something like that. I feel like there's things that are a little bit more modern that I would reach for, or that I like a little bit better. But since I still enjoy this, it's going to be more of like a homeware, which I get a lot of opportunities for homeware because I work primarily from home. So, yeah, Poison, still like you. Maybe more of an inside perfume. Okay, and last and scariest, maybe legitimately scariest in the case of these. The other two weren't really scary. They were just, again, not that wearable. My Lush Lust. Okay, I don't know if this is going to surprise you. If you've worn this and you have this probably won't surprise you, and you've been rolling your eyes at me this whole time. But I really liked it. Okay, and I don't think it's just because I've been smelling so many unique perfumes now that it's harder for me to get scared off by a scent. But really, that really strong Ylang Ylang jasmine that you can just smell like crazy if you just put it to your nose goes fast, goes away fast. And the dry down is like the farthest thing from scary. It's in fact a lot of a skin scent. Maybe that's just on me. I don't know. I sprayed it the first time I wore it. I sprayed it 3 times. I did the inside of my elbow. I did it kind of vaguely on my sweater, and then I did it on my neck. And it settled down. And it was just this really, it was a pretty vanilla. It was very sexy. And it was, it melded into my skin, the heat of my skin. And it was very sexy and crowd pleasing. And I asked my husband if he could smell me like from a distance. And he said no. And then I had him smell it. And he was like, oh, wow, that's great. What is that? You know, that's really amazing. So I would say that it's not really a blast the way that I anticipated it would be, nor does it really retain that sharp jasmine. That really dies down quickly. And you get this vanilla-ish, warmed by the skin, blended, sexy scent that I think I will wear a lot more now that I'm not scared of it anymore. I think it's more of a spring, summer, hot weather scent though, because I do think it benefits from melding with your skin. And a humid day would probably do wonders for its longevity and projection. I would say that, but I think I'm much more comfortable wearing this as a beautiful skin scent for days that I just want to, you know, smell and enjoy myself. I'm sorry. I have misjudged you, Lust. I misjudged you. You're actually a pretty easy wear once you get past the scariness. Oh, and I will also say, I know it gets a lot of people warning about the color of the juice. This deep orangey red color that it can turn, close. Spraying it on my skin, you kind of get like, you can't see it, but you get kind of like a vague pinkiness there. So there is some color associated with it. So just keep that in mind when spraying it on clothes. It could possibly stain. But aside from that scariness, I faced my fear. It went well. I'm going to be wearing Lust. I just sprayed it again. I probably shouldn't have because I'm already wearing something today. But it'll fade. It'll be a skin scent. It'll be a beautiful one. That is it. If you have any thoughts on these perfumes, or you want to tell me what your hard to wear or fear perfumes are, please leave it in the comments. If you enjoy All Matter of Fragrance content, reviews, blind buys, one-offs, whatever I feel like talking about, please subscribe to Second is the Best. That is all for this one. I will see you in the next one.